day of the Peripatetic Conversation, and I'm with two amazing guest speakers, Maria Cristina and Alessandro. They are from the design industry. Maria is an Italian curator and author, and Alessandro, he works in as a design consultant for Mr. Lawrence and as the master product design master leader at Domus Academy. I would like both of you to tell a bit more about yourself to our guests.
Good morning, anyone. Thanks for being here with us today. It's a sunny day. It's a beautiful place. Thanks for the invitation. It was actually the first time I visited the space. It's really amazing and all the things that you're doing here. So congratulations. So I am an independent design curator and an author. I work in the design field. I write books, I write articles, and most of all, I work with young talents when possible, also with the old ones.
As you said, I'm Alessandro Squatrito. I'm the course leader of Master in Product Design at Domus Academy. At the same time, I'm a contributor for the Salone del Mobile, and I work, as you said, as a design strategist for with Mr. Lawrence in collaboration. This year, we had like a couple of really nice projects. Let's say the most interesting one at the moment, just because it's the first time that the Saudi Arabia arrived to the Salone del Mobile, to the Fuori Salone actually. So we had them for the first time to come to Milano at the Pinacoteca di Brera. So it's really nice, and it's also an opportunity to talk about because in this moment we are working a lot with Arab design, and actually it's really connected with the speech we are going to have today. You know,
That's what we are here to discuss, like your experience in this multicultural, faceted world. So let's begin our tour of the ateliers of Fornace Curti. Design is showcased, whether be it in design installations like Salone, be it in design galleries. How do you make sure the identity is respected and showcased?
I'm also in charge of a project called promoted by the Singapore Design Council. I just mentioned that because Singapore is, I'm working since 4 years with Singapore Design Council. And I think that every time that you have to put up a story, put up a project, you really have to understand the culture you're working in. I really like that because I had experience in Asia, in of course Europe, and in US. So all the time I try to read the context I'm working in and try to do the best out of it. Sometimes there are conflict, or sometimes there are things that are misunderstood or misinterpreted. But with communication, it's very interesting. India is doing very well lately, as you know. There is a very interesting design scene. I've been there in February for India Design Fair. They invited me for a talk, and I also there discovered a lot of interesting things that, of course, they have to be understood within the context and the situation that we are found in them, but very, very interesting point. And then then one of my mantra is that, I mean, I love diversity because diversity brings the seed of freedom. So I really like to work in a different within different culture and within different contexts.
my personal experience, I will talk about first of all at the university. That means like having, because you have to consider the 90% more or less of the students that we have at Domus Academy, they come from different countries. So from that perspective, it's really like, and this is like one of my job is try to create for them a good quality, a good brief for the workshop we organize, in order to try to have from them a really personal point of view, in order to respect as much as possible, in order to have as much as possible from them coming from different cultures. So, for example, in that didactic, let's say, realm, I have a specific attention for the different culture of the students from where they come. On the other side, my experience, for example, with Arab design, as I told you, But India, it's another country. I have the feeling that a lot of things are happening there, honestly speaking, from Western, apart from me, Maria Cristina, so the people that are really involved in creativity, in design, and we try to figuring out, we try to understand as much as possible. What I feel it's really, really important is try to immerse as much as possible yourself in the culture in general, in order to avoid the feeling of seeing something and just not understanding what is that. Most of the time, I feel that, for example, with Arab design, people see some pieces that they think like really basic crafts, without understanding really what are the culture that is under the piece itself. And that's really important. This is the reason why also working with curators that are able to really immerse themselves, they have time to study the culture. It's the most important things, because unless you lose the possibility to really understand every single piece and every single product.
That what do you think is the real role of a curator in all of this?
Thank you. They asked me something similar yesterday, and so to me, so this is a very personal point of view. Of course, a curator has to put order, to choose, and but most of all, it has to have a vision about the project itself. So you can talk with a very well-known designer or a very young talent. They talk about their project, they explain the origin of the project, but then sometimes these things are scattered around and have not some sort of consistency. So I do believe, I mean, my role as a curator, and also I'm a little bit particular curator because I work with, all these design and disgraces, design and violence, design and war, design and religions. And last but not least, I think that good curators should find a way, find a language that everybody can speak and everybody can learn. We cannot do projects just for our field. We cannot do projects for people that belong to our industry, because otherwise this is like talking to each other, and there's no growth, there's no message. So I sound like a priest a bit, but like, no, to me, the project has to be easy to understand and to be understood by everyone. So otherwise, you just do things for yourself, and this has no, it's not interesting.
Curator to me, it's a facilitator in the sense of facilitate a storytelling, facilitate a way of understanding and see the things that you have in front of you. As Maria Cristina said, you are doing this job in order for the people to understand, to be immersed in what they see, unless you lose like the opportunity to tell a story. So to me, it's really like a facilitator of something in order to really like count with a Fil Rouge story.
I was in Tel Aviv, and I was researching about Hasidic architecture, let's say. So the Hasidic are the ultra Orthodox that live by themselves. They, the guys with black coat and everything. So I was with one of them. They live some sort of life in the past, so they cannot really understand, or they don't know, or they don't want to know what is really going on. So this lady, she was very sweet, and she asked me why I was in Tel Aviv. I was in Tel Aviv because I was curating an exhibition at the Design Museum in Salone. And she said, so I said, I'm here for work. And she said, what do you do? And I said, oh, I'm a curator, I said. And she looked at me and then said, oh, so you are saving lives. And that was such like a sword for me, because I'm saying, no, actually, I'm not saving any life, but I would love to, of course. So I said, I took a while before answering, because, as I said, there was not like a linear conversation. It's not like just talking to you that you know how. So I explained that I was not saving any life, unfortunately, but that maybe, I was, making some step with some people that wanted to be together for some certain time in life, and then we could build together something. So she was happy with the with the explanation.
all think that nowadays, do we think of the object before, or do we think of the story before? Because yes,
This is a very good question. Thank you. I will answer very sharply and right away. No, the object comes before, but the object itself, if it's a good object and it's exceptional, it has already in itself a good storytelling.
Yeah, storytelling, first of all, it's really important in the sense that, of course, you have to tell a story. We are in a moment in which, like, everybody's trying to say something. I agree that the product itself comes first. Also, because I feel that, especially in this moment, especially in this era, no, design must be used as a way of investigate the word. So it's a tool to tell a story. I like starting like my introduction asking a question to my students. So do you think it does make sense still to study product design? I mean, like, everything is digital. Okay, everybody's doing like projects using AI at the moment. Why do I should study still? That is really sad. I mean, like, if I was like in their situation, I was asking to myself, why I should study still product design? Why I don't go to study, I don't know, digital design? For sure, I make more money. That's for sure. Humans needs to touch, to feel, to see. Okay, and it's something that digital words cannot substitute. So at the end, just to summarize, we need to have product designer because in a certain moment we need to build our world.
I think design and storytelling, it's very important in today's world. And I would like to know, what do you think of Salone in this perspective of Milan Design Week? What do you think? Is it what can be improved, or what can be made better in terms of storytelling? There are so many thousands of places in Fori Salone. How do we select which tells the best story and which does not?
Well, I just would like to underline that sometimes storytelling is thrown on the table, especially by communication agencies, like some sort of negative, or they say like, "Oh, this project is just storytelling." No, it's not. It depends how you see and how you read the page. But then answering to your question, yes, there are a lot of events at Salone. I don't want to say too many because I think that there is room for everyone. It would be nice to be a little bit more focused on the product and on the intention than just on the aesthetics. A little bit like less aesthetic and more ethics, to quote a famous Biennale di Venezia title. How do you choose what to visit? Is some sort of lottery, and a little bit you have really to select what is really important for you. Of course, I try to visit the project that are more closer to my sensibility.
First of all, I would say that I'm really proud of the Salone del Mobile in general. Unless people are complaining because sometimes something is closed, sometimes it's just for specialists, and sometimes. But I'm really happy when I see, honestly, like, big queues of people. Sometimes I complain myself, but I mean, I feel that Salone del Mobile, it's a democratic place because when you have sometimes too democratic, I would say. Honestly speaking, like, and this is why I'm proud, because a lot of cities try to imitate and try to, like, let's say emulate Salone del Mobile. Nobody succeed until now. Not because I think, like, once because we are really good, but on the other side, it's because Salone del Mobile, it's a sort of mountain of layers and layers that will build step by step. And if you don't, let's say, work from the beginning in order to create the layers of companies, production, designers, schools, whatever it's you needed in order to organize the fair, if you do like the way around, because most of the time you see like the way around, we organize the fair and then somehow we hope that something is going to develop. Normally it doesn't work in this way. The Salone del Mobile is the storytelling of the Italian design. Just to come back to your question, the Fuori Salone and the Salone is the cherry on the cake, and let's say that's the storytelling on the entire industry of design in Italy. Okay, but you need to have the story before.
I love Fuori Salone in general because Salone del Mobile is amazing, but I think it's more about brands and products, and Fuori Salone is more about experiences in some way. But I really like you said, how it connects people, and I think now that all the districts also have like a very good connection amongst all of them. They are all renowned for something in particular, like I don't know, Isola can be more experimentative, Cinquevi can be more curated, stylistic, and they all have different point of view. So it's nice that you can explore them.
Remember when we had like Lambrate Design District? Once it was like the most, let's say, experimental district of the Salome at the time. No, and then they switch to another thing. So it's also an environment that lives, and change and keep like moving, and it's nice, because then you have like this feeling of something happening.
For example, you just mentioned that there was a Lambrate design district. I had no idea, and I've been coming for Salone for about like 5-6 years, but I had no idea that there was a Lambrate design
The
district.
district was organized by a communication agency from the Netherlands, Communication in Design, mi pare che si chiamava. Sì, Margot, sì. And it was like the first time, and it is the reason why it was really experimental at the moment, because like they invited the Design Academy of Eindhoven, all the others, Netherlands and Belgium, in the Royal Academy, and a lot of self-production, experimental design at the moment. There was like the hand of Droch design also, so there was like the echo of Droch at the moment, and then on a certain moment, also because like Salone del Mobile, it's an environment that changes every day. Actually, the agency itself closed because the two founders just divided, and then it completely disappeared. I don't know why, but completely disappeared. And then and it was the moment in which like there was the switch for example, for the Dutch design and the experimental design to go to Alcova, so there was like a sort of tradition.
Lambrate was not a hot place anymore for Salone, and and organically another district came up, more than another, few other districts came up.
So thank you so much for the conversation today. It was a pleasure to have you all here and such a wonderful audience. Thank you so much.
Grazie, grazie.